What's up YouTube? So welcome to another video. Today we're finally working on the epoxy flooring for the garage. The end goal of this is to get the garage looking from this to this. As you can see, the entire garage is cleared out. I moved everything either outside, like the trash cans and that little thing right there, or inside. I moved all the tools, toolboxes, everything like that inside. And then I have a bunch of the junk sitting around in the corners because that's not going to be epoxied. And then obviously I have this closet here, which has even more junk in it. So gotta leave that all aside and then actually start on the process. So this process is going to contain a few steps, and first step is to prep the garage with this. So this is some concrete etch. This is what's going to help the primer, sorry, not even the primer, but the epoxy stick to the concrete floor, and it's going to help clean up all that grease and stuff like that. It's going to create some tiny micro kind of scratches and voids, you could say, into the concrete so that the epoxy has a better grasp on it and it doesn't come up over the long term. So as you can see, there's just dust and oil and stuff like that everywhere. So that's why I have this. I'm gonna go ahead, start cleaning, and hopefully get done soon. I just finished sweeping the floor, but look how much dirt came out of what? We've only been here, living here for like 5 months, but I would probably say there was a lot of dust in here before when the construction was taking place, but look at that. All that from this, what, tiny 2-car garage? All that. So now we got all the dust swept up. I need to get a dustpan, throw that away. Next step would be for me to water down the concrete, let it soak up some water, throw down the etch, let that soak in for about, I think, 20-30 minutes, let that eat up the concrete a little bit. Then I gotta wash that out as well. And then at that point, you just let it dry for about 12-13 hours. That's what it says. So I'm just gonna let it dry for 24 hours, come back tomorrow around this time and hopefully get it done. So now we have everything a little bit wet. We can finally put in the etch. So there's 2 bags of these. So it says for a 1-car garage, use 1, for a 2-car garage, use both. So I'm gonna pop these into either like a watering can or something like that and just kind of try to evenly distribute it throughout the garage and then let it sit for about 30 minutes. So the direction says use about 2 gallons of water for the 2 packs, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna pour this in here now. So that's 1. And there goes 2. So now it just says mix until it's dissolved, pour it all over the garage, scrub vigorously, which I doubt I'm gonna do because I don't have a brush for that, but I'll use the same brush that I sweep the floor with, so hopefully that works. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but everything is sizzling. So I guess it's working. I'm gonna go inside. Oh, it smells like crap. It smells like a fart. That's what it smells like. I'm not even lying. But I'm gonna go inside, grab that same brush, broom that I used to sweep everything up, and use that hopefully to kind of spread this around. So after you use the etch with some water on the concrete floor, you gotta let it sit, let it dry for about a day, and then that's where the fun part starts. So tomorrow, we're gonna have to come in, actually pour down the first layer of epoxy. So the first layer is gonna be gray as it comes in the box, but I bought this black tint I'm gonna put in it, so it makes it a little bit of a darker gray. And then over that, I bought 3 gallons of the clear coat. Within the clear coat, I'm gonna mix in some flake. Let me show you that real quick. So as I just mentioned, this is the tiny bottle of tint that I got for the gray epoxy. It should be like super black, but that's the color of it. But hopefully it makes the gray epoxy a little bit darker, just so that when I put the top coat on, it doesn't have that much of a hard time covering the gray. And the company just name is black. And it's epoxy and resin coloring. So that's for the gray epoxy. And then here, I have the glitter, what you want to call it, powder epoxy pigment, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so this is the epoxy pigment. Let me give you a little bit closer look on this. So you might not be able to see it on camera, but it has white and gold flake inside the black. So it should look nice overall. Today's the next day, and we're finally gonna start putting down the epoxy. First off, we're gonna mix this up. There's 2 bags of these, and then we'll put them both in here and then add in the black coloring for the resin that we got for the epoxy. So hopefully it looks decent and actually mixes well and dries well. I was reading that if you mess with the chemicals in the epoxy, there's a chance that it might not dry as well or something like that, but hopefully it turns out good. It says you wanna roll this into the other portion of the bag. So I'm guessing you just go like this. Oh, yep. And you just shake it up for about 2 minutes. Let it all mix together. And I need to do this with both bags. So this is the first bag. I need to do it with the second bag as well. And then add the coloring. So now we have everything ready. We have the epoxy mixed up. We have all the garage flooring all nice and clean. No dust that I can feel or anything. So I guess now it's time I'm gonna start with the edges, I think, with the little brush, and then start rolling it. So as you guys can see, it's kind of dry way back there. And then here I did a very, very heavy coat. That's why it's taking a lot longer to dry. So over there, I would say I used a little bit less than a gallon. And then over here, I used that 1.5 gallon right here. So that's why it's a lot thicker here. This is gonna have the most foot traffic, this area and then this area. So I thought, why not just do it a little bit thicker on the front side. But overall, it looks great. Now we just gotta wait for this to dry, come back tomorrow and start the third part. It's the 3rd day now, and I let it dry. I think it's been almost 12 hours. Sorry, it's been almost 24 hours since it's been drying, and this is how it's looking so far. So as you can tell, this side is a lot smoother and thicker than this side, and it's a lot less glossy over here just because I did a super thick coat over there, and I kind of neglected this side a little bit. But overall, the gloss is pretty good. There's no flakes in this, just flat gray right now. And I mixed up the clear, and now I'm just about to put in the pigment and see how it looks. That already seems like a lot.
It doesn't?
It does. Like the glitter at least.
Oh.
But at the same time, I think we want it a lot. I messed up. I did not buy enough clear coat and I got stuck. I poured it out, can't even see me. I poured most of it out on the floor and then I noticed I needed more, but at that point it was too late. So now we have this weird black and gray design. So it looks decent, doesn't look bad. I ended up throwing the flakes in there as well. But as you can see, there's like black swirl all the way through. Some parts it's a lot lighter, like in the corner right there. Some parts it's a little bit darker. But overall, doesn't look bad. And we had two separate options. So one option was to go halfway through doing the epoxy, go get another gallon of clear and then dump that when we get back. Or just go with the flow, kind of spontaneous design and do it how we did. So this is how it looks from when you walk out the house. A little closer look. So you can still see the gray from the inside or from the bottom, but then on top there's that small thin coat of black with the glitter in it. And as I mentioned, it doesn't look bad, but it just wasn't what I was originally expecting to do. But overall, can't complain.